Warning, this following story contains themes that find young viewers or listeners scary and are not suitable for viewers under 13 years of age. Viewer discretion is advised.
The name is Maria Jackson. My little sister, Gloria, is a huge fan of a PBS Kids show, Eleanor Wonders Why. If you don't know what it is, it's a show that stars Elinor Rabbit, Olive Elephant and Ari Bat who follow their curiosity, ask questions when they don't understand, and find answers using science inquiry skills. So far, about 40 episodes were produced, including a special 3-part movie called A Wonderful Journey, which was released on DVD. That's the exact DVD I brought for Gloria. However, something was off. The front cover looked different. It had a poorly drawn Eleanor, Ari, and Bat, looking something as if it was drawn with a marker by a 2-year-old. It looked nothing like the actual front cover I was looking online, but I still gave the DVD to Gloria. When I put the disc into the DVD player, a DVD menu was shown. It surprisingly looks okay, it's just the front cover that looked different. As I ate my noodles in the kitchen, I heard that Gloria finished watching The Wonderful Journey, but she pointed out to me that there was an episode that never appeared on TV. It was called, Lost Forever. The title of the episode was creepy, and I thought that this was made as a sick joke. Nonetheless, we watched the episode, which is something I deeply regret to this day. The theme song plays, but much like the DVD's front cover, it was off. The colors are slightly red, the music is distorted, and it looks something as if the intro was filmed on a VHS. The episode starts off, as normal, but when Eleanor reads out the episode's title, Weekly. Gloria and I didn't know what happened to Eleanor before that exact moment. The camera pans to Eleanor's house where Ranger calls Eleanor out loud and tells her to get ready to go to school. However, Eleanor tells Ranger that she doesn't want to go to school because her friends have bullied her last week. But Ranger didn't buy her words and takes her to school anyway. At school, Ms. Mole teaches her students about caves and mines. Eleanor held one hand up and asked her a question. "Can I use the bathroom?" said Eleanor. Ms. Mole agrees, but tells her to hurry up because they got more activities to do. Eleanor, fist bumps in victory for skipping school, decides to go to the cave all by herself. She made it inside the cave, and noticed a lot of interesting things around the cave. She then breaks the fourth wall as she tells the audience where her signature magnifying glass is. However, a 5-second silence occurs, and Eleanor angrily screams at the camera, "Say something, you fucking idiots." Gloria and I got shocked over this scene, seeing that Eleanor never cussed like that in the cartoon. Gloria tells Eleanor that the magnifying glass is at the bottom of the cave, and Eleanor smiled and said, "Thank you." As she kept walking and walking on the cave until she can reach to the bottom, things started to get creepy. A music from Sonic.exe started to play, and Eleanor started to get frowny. She noticed a pool of blood on the floor, and she went to see where it come from. We didn't get to see what Eleanor noticed, as the camera cuts to Ms. Mole informing Ranger Rabbit and Mr. Rabbit that their daughter Eleanor went missing earlier this morning. Ranger was worried that Eleanor must have fled to a forest, or somewhere else. They then started taking some hints about Eleanor's whereabouts. The camera cuts back to Eleanor, and what we saw scared the crap out of us. It was Ari, with his stomach cut open and his wrists were slashed. Eleanor then let out a horrific scream, which was screeching and loud. Even my dog started to bark when that happened. Eleanor then notices iguanas from the Blair Witch Project hanging at the top of the ceiling. She didn't know what that was supposed to mean, so she carried on searching for the magnifying glass. As she carried on, Eleanor screamed again. This time she finds Olive dead, who is naked and her head sliced in half. I was shocked. How could a cheery fun kids show turn into something dark and twisted? The cameras got darker, and the music started to get distorted. It briefly cut to static several times in this episode, and Eleanor was scared about what was going to happen to her. Loud screams were also heard, scaring Gloria, who almost cried. I was at her side, trying to protect her. Eleanor finds a phone that Ari left on the floor, but when he tries to call her parents, the phone's batteries died. Eleanor, with no hope left for her, admitted that going to the cave was the stupidest mistake of her life. She tries to leave, but when she was about to do that, she finally finds the magnifying glass. She cheered for victory, but another creepy jump scare came in, and it scared me so bad that it nearly gave me a heart attack. Eleanor tries to run away from the cave, hoping that her parents could find her in time. However, she was attacked by a demonic creature with a face resembling Ari's, throws her right up against the wall so hard she received major bleeding in her head and her brain was showing. Gloria whimpered and worried for Eleanor's life, and I told her that everything is going to be okay. The camera cuts to black for a few seconds until it cuts back to Eleanor, unconscious after the attack. She is still alive, but can't remember anything. When she tries to find her way out of the cave, but can't remember where the exit is. Eleanor screamed for her mother and father, and started crying. It lasted for 4 minutes until Eleanor started to sob painfully, sounding like if the actual voice actor was crying. Ranger Rabbit and Mr. Rabbit call out Eleanor's name, but to no avail. Deputy Mouse arrives and tells them that they can't find Eleanor anywhere, as he had no idea where Eleanor fled to. They then told them that Eleanor can't be found, as he claims that she is lost forever. 5 days later, Ranger Rabbit sobbed painfully as she is worried for Eleanor's safety, with Mr. Rabbit sitting next to her, comforting her. Ms. Mole goes to the cave, with the help of the Animal Town Police Department, began searching for Eleanor. They found her at the bottom of the cave, and much to our horror, she was dead. Her stomach was slit open, her head was chopped off, and her intestines were strewn around the caves. A pool of blood was also on the floor. The police arrived to Eleanor's house as they told Ranger and Mr. Rabbit that Eleanor was found dead in the cave. They started to cry much more painfully than before, with Ranger saying that Eleanor shouldn't even have skipped school to go to a cave in the first place, with Mr. Rabbit saying that he should have prevented this. We were devastated. We should have told Eleanor not to go to the cave, but she did. She's now dead, and Gloria even started to cry because of it. The scene cuts to Eleanor's funeral, with her parents, her grandparents, and her friends attending. At night time, Ranger Rabbit grabs a pencil on her hand. She then starts writing out loud as she says, "We can't do this anymore. Without Eleanor, we are nothing. She made what we are today, and we are thankful for her. And now that she's dead, there's just no purpose on living anymore. If she is dead, then we want to be dead too. Goodbye everyone from Animal Town. If you find this note, then we are probably dead." At this point, there was no sound. No sound at all, just Ranger Rabbit and Mr. Rabbit saying, "Goodbye." Ranger Rabbit and Mr. Rabbit stand on a stool with nooses hanging on the ceilings. They put them on their necks, sigh out, and kick the stools from underneath them. Their bodies drop faster than a lead balloon. The camera then cuts to black, and once it came back up, what we saw was even creepier than Eleanor's death. It was Ranger Rabbit and Mr. Rabbit, hanging. The camera stayed on them for a few minutes until it cuts to static. Then, nothing. Just pitch blackness. It then shows the end credits, but with differences. Much like its opening credits, the music is distorted, the colors are red, and Eleanor's eyes were covered with a black rectangle with the words "Lost" written on it. Before it can show the logos, it cuts to a black screen with a creepy red text that reads, "Poor Eleanor. Lost forever in a cave. If only she had listened to her parents." A few seconds later, another red text was shown and said, "Well, does anybody want fresh bunny meat?" while loud screams were heard. It then shows the Pipeline Studios, Shoe Inc. and PBS Kids logos, but they were changed to make them look creepy. That's how the DVD ended. Gloria ran to the bedroom while crying over Eleanor, and contacted PBS Kids about the lost episode. They replied back by saying, "We didn't know this episode existed, it looked like if it was fan-made or something. We sold every copy of the Eleanor Wonders Why, A Wonderful Journey DVD, and none of them had the lost episode in it, excluding the one which has now been recalled. We apologize for any fright caused. I later started having nightmares about the episode, but I am over it now. I then smashed the DVD into pieces and threw it in a trash can. I should only be glad that this episode never aired on television, and I will never see it again in my life. That's the end of my story.
We hope you enjoyed listening to the story. Now you might be wondering, how would you sleep after all of this horror you are going through?
Also, this is Flower's first premiere video, which is something we've never did before. Wow.